Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live coverage of the Skip Barber Monday Night Lights, coming to you live once again from Snetterton for round 10, and once again your commentary team for tonight is myself, Bernie Weemers, and Alex McKellar.
G'day Bernie, g'day everyone at home. Great to be back for round 10 of the final official season for 2017. We're here at Snetterton, a new track to many people, to everyone really, unless they're racing other series. Brand new to the iRacing service this week. Great field, third highest strength of field for the week at a tick over 2,900. It just shows that we're down a bit actually on our usual high, lofty expectations, but this track has kept a few away, perhaps intimidating a few, being both new and really technical and challenging in places, Bernie. So great to see some familiar faces out there, some big names in the Skippy community still coming out to play. So really looking forward to see what they can turn on tonight, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely. They've got 5 minutes to go. We can see at the moment none of them have really put in a time yet, but Mikko Nasi seeded number 1, Enzo Cantor's second. Then we've got Timu Vascalampi seeded third. Keep an eye tonight on the Aussie Tim Gaukridger though, because he was extremely strong last night in the Australasian Super Skips here, and I'm expecting big things from him tonight, Alex.
Absolutely, Bernie. Tim's had some great racing this season, and the last couple actually, really finding his groove, so to speak. Took out the race last night with many of the faces in here tonight backing up from the Australasian Super Skips last night. Of course, that's a somewhat of an endurance event with pit stops and all that involved, whereas tonight's just a sprint race. There'll be no pit stops and barring incident, of course, and Tim Gaukridger will be out to see if he can't back it up tonight, Bernie.
Yeah, we've got Timu Vascalampi on screen at the moment and coming through. I'm surprised they all haven't put in a time yet, quite honestly.
Yeah, well, it takes them a while to get around here. They've got about 4 minutes left, so you think with the balance of that 4 minutes, they'd all be able to get their times in. I would expect, as per last week, Mikko Nasi probably going to head the field. He's probably the standout in this field, as we found out last week. Interesting to see him showing up on this new track. We usually get the pleasure of his company a couple of times in a season, and great to see him stretching his legs on this new circuit, Bernie.
Yeah, it certainly is. We can see now Timu Vascalampi coming across. Enzo Cantor setting a time first, which was a 2:05.967. Timu Vascalampi pipped him with a 2:05.840. So it's all happening, but here comes Tim Gaukridger with a 2:05.302.
Full half a second ahead of Timu Vascalampi. Of course, Mikko, where's he at? 2:06, only after his first lap, 1.2 seconds behind in P5. So expect him to make a better fist of his second lap. Great to see Daryl Ridley once again up in P4. But the interesting thing to note, I guess, Bernie, is that because this is a new track and many of the guys still finding their optimal lines, you'll see much broader spread of times from top to bottom here than we would perhaps last week, where the top 10 or 12 are covered by a second. So here, the first guy's half a second out, and then it's only in P4 by the time you're out to a spread of a second after their first lap. So new track, new set of corners to master, and the time's a bit spread as a result.
It's all right, I'm just I was listening and I wasn't listening.
You're right, mate.
I was having a look at our quali lap counter, and it every time they flash in and out, it resets. So I'm not sure what time Mikko Nasi's doing at the moment. Seeded 6th. I'd expect him to jump up through the field on this one. So we'll keep an eye on him as he does this quali lap.
Yeah, absolutely, Bernie. He's like I said, he's without having seen much of the racing here this week myself, he still might pick to do very well, if not take it out. But there's some big names in the Skippy community around him, as Mikko now coming through the final corner now there at Murray's. Really challenging little corner there. There's a couple on here that really test the driver's skills as he comes up to the line now with a minute and a half remaining in the session. Let's see how far he can jump up. Did he improve, Bernie? Yes, he did, but only good enough to grab P4, Bernie.
And meanwhile, Timo Vascalampi has finished his run, so has Enzo Cantor. So it's looking like Tim Gaukrich, the Aussie, will take pole here tonight.
Yeah, fantastic effort. We were talking him up, Bernie, and I'm pleased to say he's lived up to expectations at this stage by that full half a second. So, that's a fantastic effort. We may not have the strongest field we've seen all season, certainly, but for Tim to head it up and by that margin, in amongst the quality that he's racing with, Bernie, that's a fantastic effort.
It certainly is, and we can see Enzo Cantor, Nico Narci's still out there putting in another hot lap here. And we'll see if they can improve. Tim's actually not on the track at the moment, so we'll see what they can do. We've got 30 seconds remaining of quali, so they should get this lap in.
Yeah, absolutely. I see Brian Inglis out there, car 17, sneaking in for a top split run tonight due to the reduced field. He's usually a very regular participant in this series, and we thank him for it because it's a late night up in NZ where he's coming from, Birdie, so he's just pulling up shy of the line there, probably just on a cool-down lap, and he'll be ready to take his spot on the grid. Yeah,
we had Christian Kabanka last night running in the Australasian Super Skips, I think it was, and he was saying it was 3 a.m. in the morning for him over there in California.
Yeah, very dedicated effort, and I know Christian enjoys racing with us, so a late night's nothing to what you get out on track, eh?
Yeah, so it looks like the qualifying's over. The guys are starting to grid up. So let's go through our grid so you can see where your favourite driver will be starting. So Tim Gaukrich is starting from pole position. 2:05.302 was the time. He's joined in the front row by Timo Vascalampi. Enzo Cantor right behind, starting in third, and Mikko Narci will start beside him. Out of the third row tonight, we have Alex John, and he's joined by John Schultz out of sixth. Out of 7th is Darryl Ridley, and Kevin Henderson will start out of 8th. Out of 9th is Matt Hobbs, and he's joined with Mick Gray next to him. Ashley Work will start out of 11th, and Russell Clark out of 12th. Out of 13th is Samuel Collins. Then we have Francois starting out of 14th. Rick Davis will start out of 15th. 16th, Les Peck. 17th, James Beardsley from Texas. Jason Willman out of 18th. 19th is Brian Inglis. Rounding out your 20 is Dave Cameron. Yeah, interesting to see the namesake of a former British PM there in the final spot on the grid, Bernie. Great result there in quali from Ashwork as the lights get ready to drop. Yeah, and we'll see how they get off the line here. And starting on centre straight, keep an eye on them through Richards. A clean start, as we'd expect there. No Alex McKellar bogged down tonight as they take off cleanly. So we can see at the moment, it looks like Tim Gaukrich should be leading them. Yeah, Miko Nassi left hanging out to dry a little bit from by Enzo there through turn 1. Bernie, as they run down this short straight into the hairpin at Montreal, turn 2. Alex John there holding quite a defensive line for John Schultz into that corner there, and John Schultz running a bit wide there and leaving the door open for Darryl Ridley, who then tucks back in behind, unable to get it done with Kevin Henderson right on his tail, Bernie. Yeah, we see the field streaking through there, and it's a nice clean start. Les Peck's down there in 17th position, having a bit of a battle, but meanwhile up front, your top 10 as they stand, Tim Gaukrich, Timo Vascalampi in second, Enzo Cantor, Mikko Narci 4th, Alex John, a good start there, sitting in 5th, John Schultz 6th, Darryl Ridley 7th, Kevin Henderson 8th, Matt Hobbs 9th, and Russell Clark in 10th. Another driver to keep an eye on tonight will be Matt Hobbs. Yeah, absolutely. He had a great run last night in the Australasian Super Sips as I sip my drink with my feet up on the couch watching this fantastic broadcast, Bertie. I was really surprised and pleasantly so at the way. Who's that running wide there? Is that Jason Willman running wide there as they approach this long back Bentley straight, Bernie? It doesn't seem to have hurt him too much, but he's got back on track. It was great to see Matt Hobbs having such a great run last night. He's found some real pace lately, but I tell you
what I'm also pleased to see is as they go through this challenging back section of the circuit here, that turn 9 Nelson, it really bring you unstuck if you're not on your game. But great to see the likes of Les Peck there sporting the fantastic Team Venom Racing livery here. Les doesn't often get a run in the top split. Really pleased to see him have a run tonight. Like I said, we may not have the strongest field tonight, but that's opened the door for some of our regulars to come in and have a party with the big boys, so to speak.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's great to see so many Aussies there on the broadcast tonight. But after lap 1, Tim Gaucritcher leads Enzo Kander. We saw Enzo make a move up Bentley Straight there on Timu. Timu didn't really fight it, and he led him through. But Mikko Nasi at the moment hasn't really made an impression, but he's sitting just off Timu's tailpipe, I guess you could say, and then Alex John's hanging with them, so it's a good start for Team Milo here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like that top 5 have almost got a breakaway. John Schultz in P6, he's just on that brink of being dropped there at just about 1.2 seconds now as they're heading around this back series of corners now, Bernie. He's off that front 5, and they look like they're going to be the ones to fill the higher order tonight.
Yeah, and we're riding with Alex John at the moment. You can see the telemetry down there, folks. See what sort of gear he's using. And I'm just going to bring up and see if we can actually get some delta splits on Alex. Well, we will once we get it working.
It's a great innovation, but with so many great innovations, they come with their pitfalls as well, don't they? He actually looks like he's dropping off a bit, that front pack. Mikko Nasi just circling or his prey in front of him almost as they head through again into this challenging. Just managed to get through there. Looks like they've all got through safely, although it looks like Tim Gaucritcher, the local boy, he might have his way with this one already, Ben.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry for reacting there. I just saw Enzo all crossed up, and I was worried Timu and Mikko were going to collect him as they come into the really hard Murrays here. And tell you what, if they hit that inner gutter there, they're definitely going to know it.
Yeah, well, the rear of Enzo's car's stepping out there. I mean, the temptation here, actually, because of the slippery nature of the track, built at an old airport, of course, and very flat as a result, is to sort of stiffen the rear a bit, because with the softness in the rear that a lot of these guys carry, the rear can really get away from you here. And that corner at turn 9 at Nelson is so challenging, and it's very easy to do what Enzo did there. The guys around him did fantastically well not to collect each other and ruin all their races.
Yeah, well, exactly right, and that's why I was sort of clenching there, because I thought they were going to collect him, but he just straightened it up at the right time, and they all jumped on the brakes. That has allowed Alex John to get back on the back of these guys, and he's in for a bit of a race here tonight by the looks of it.
Yeah, 100%, and it's also at the same time, as we said, allowed Tim Gaucritcher to get nearly a 2-second lead, so these guys will be hunting him down as a pack by the looks and seeing if they can't bridge that gap. There's another battle going on slightly further back. The second of the Team Milo cars, Russell Clark, all the way down to Samuel Collins in P10. There's a long string of cars there that starts with John Schultz in P6, via Kevin Henderson, Darryl Ridley, Matt Hobbs and Russell Clark, all the way down to Mick Gray, as I said, in P11, that are all hunting together, trying to have a race amongst, within a race, if you like, as we're on lap 3 now. Well, Mick, though, looks to be getting dropped, and Russell being the last in that pack. These guys hunting for the higher positions that they can get here in the higher points that are on offer, Bernie.
Yeah, we can see on screen at the moment Endo Hendo here. He's up one position in 7th, and he's got Dazza Ridley right behind him. How's that?
That's a great one, Bernie. But Matt Hobbs there, of course, we were talking about how great a race he had last night. He hasn't made his way through the field like in the same way as he did last night. He's static in P9, which is where he started, as they go through this challenging final section here into, well, on my track map says Murray, but Murray's, and yeah, I think it is Murray's actually. And again, it looks like they're going 2 by 2 across the line now, Bernie.
Yeah, and you can have a look at the commentary channel there, and you can make up your mind whether they're baiting us again. I'm after Fiedler on the roof. I'm very, very careful here, but we can see Kevin Henderson there. Oh, he's dodging to the right, dodging to the left. We've all of a sudden got Matt Hobbs 2x2 into here, and Kevin Henderson, John Schultz was hung out to dry as Matt Hobbs makes the move.
Yeah, it allows Russell Clark to range up on the back again. Darryl running a really patient race tonight by the looks. 2x2 in front of him with Matt Hobbs and John Schultz there. John Schultz looking to get the drive on the way out there, Bernie, and that's opened the door for Darryl Ridley. He's got even better. No, he's pulled in. Very patient move there, Bernie. Perhaps due to unfamiliarity with the track, perhaps due to some of the bad luck he's had in recent memory, Bernie, but he's playing a really patient game, so head around on that 4:13.
Yeah, and meanwhile up front, folks, Tim Gowkricher is getting quite a bit of a gap. We'll get you that gap very shortly. And the top four at the moment, Enzo Cantor, Mikko Nasi's made a move up on Team Vescalampi, and then we've got Alex John rounding out your top five.
Yeah, Alex John seems to be playing a similar sort of race as he did last night. Mikko Nasi pulling up the inside of Enzo now as they head along towards the end of the Bentley Straight there. Gets the move done before the end of the straight. Car very loose there. Outbrakes himself. Oh, a bit of contact there from Enzo looking to take advantage. And has he got away with it there, Mikko? No, he looks to have got a bit of damage.
Yeah, he's broken his suspension, and we'll jump back and have a look at that replay. He basically clouted that inner gutter we were talking about, but then he's had contact from Enzo's little brother, which has broken his rear suspension. So have a look at this as he's coming down to Nelson now, and he just gets it a bit wide there, gets waggled and then gets whacked. So that's a waggle whacker, I'd say.
Waggle whacker indeed. Can I tell you, this series of corners is probably the toughest one I've come across in iRacing. Mikko, the quality of driver that he is, he's just that little bit offline as he goes through Brundle there on the approach to Nelson. That's enough to just unsettle the weight transfer that you've got to get absolutely right. You've got to absolutely compromise Brundle to open up Nelson at turn 9, this tricky right-hander, and if you don't get it right, you can see Mikko just spews over to the right-hand side of the track. Enzo perhaps not allowing for that mistake, the same way others did for him earlier, then just clouts the back of this stranded Mikko, who was really almost parked on the apex there through trying to just get the car around the corner.
Yeah, and it was a very big risk there for Enzo, and he was extremely lucky that he did not suffer any sort of suspension or steering damage at all. And we seem to see that a little bit in these cars, don't we? The front to back impact, the front of these cars seem a lot tougher than the rear end.
Oh yeah, look, it's one of the big complaints that many of the drivers have in this series, if any, Bernie, is that the front of the car seems to drive a bit more like a tank than the rear, which is a bit like a bowl of jelly at times, or something that just collapses like a house of cards, even perhaps a better analogy. So, look, Enzo very bold there going through the corner, not wanting to give anything up, and he was very lucky, as you say, as they come around through that same section now. Timu ranging up on the back of Enzo this time, and Alex John all the while. I was saying he's just running a quiet race. Well, as Enzo disappears, I'm not sure if he's dropped entirely from your screen, Bernie, but he seems to have disappeared from mine. Don't know if he's got network issues or he's just run out of incidents. At this early stage, I'd find that hard to believe, but nonetheless, he's not there anymore.
There he is, he's back.
Just popped back in time for me to get called a mug, right? So that'd be unnerving for the guys behind, absolutely. And but still out in front, we've got Tim Gawkricher now, who's now 3.7 seconds out and running in clean air.
Yeah, he's not going to get some air time up there, but he's doing an awesome job, isn't he? And as I was saying, he was on fire last night, and he's just carried that momentum tonight. We're riding once again with Alex John, and as I was saying last night, Alex enjoys his racing in VR. Well, he did last time I spoke to him anyway, but I'm assuming he's still doing the same thing.
Yeah, 100%, Bernie. I had the pleasure of doing some racing with AJ at different events recently, and over the last few seasons, actually, he enjoys his racing. I tell you what, you can chuck him at anything, and he's good in it. I'm constantly amazed at the fact that he's been so consistently fast in a wide variety of cars that I've seen him in, and frustrating at the same time with the likes of me. It takes an hour or two of practice to get good at anything, and he just jumps into things and drives them really well. Driving a very patient race tonight, Bernie, as I think he did last night from what I saw, just sitting in P4 and looking for a really good result by the looks.
Definitely, and he's just being, as you said, extremely patient there, sizing Timu up. Timu's got a more aggressive slide going on in his car, where Alex looks a little bit more controlled, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Alex having a crack very soon for third position here.
Yeah, he's got some time up his sleeve as they're on lap 6 of 13 now as they go through that challenging section at Brundle and Nelson once again. This time much cleaner. Looks very smooth when it's done correctly, Bertie, and very awkward when it's not. Kevin Henderson now running a lonely race in P5. I'm not sure what broke up that group, but there's then quite a gap between him and the front lot. Matt Hobbs now running a solo race behind him, and again Russell Clark. They've really spread out there, but Russell now on a head of what looks to be about 4 cars there, 3 chasing him down, the tail of which is Rick Davis, another great local guy with a good sense of humour, good to have a chat with, great to see him in the top split. Bernie, I know he's vying to make every poster winner here tonight, try and grab some points for the Monday Night Lights Championship, because he's showing what the second split guys or the second split regulars can do, and that he's been up in the top 3 and P2 in the championship for much of the season, Bernie. So great to see him having a shot here again in the top split and making a top 10 fist of it. So congratulations to Rick.
Yeah, definitely, and we've seen it time and time again on the Monday Lights that often the second split top runners, they factor very heavily in the points for taking out the Monday Lights.
Yeah, that's right, Bertie. I mean, we make it so that participation is the key, and turning up and having a run in the second split can secure you great points. The main split, the top one, is where the points are at for the most part. There's bulk points, or the most points I should say, but there's still, as now Mick Gray having a look on the inside of Russell Clark there, looks to be getting the move done. Yeah, well done to Mick, nice and clean, well driven both guys there, giving each other room, and Russell conceding the corner there, knowing that Mick had him run and done, and they can continue on and race well. But yeah, the guys in the second split can certainly turn up and race consistently well and grab a great deal of points. And as Rick is demonstrating, although he's in the top split tonight, as I said, from the second split, he's secured second or third spot in the championship for this season so far, and he'll be looking to secure that podium overall tonight.
Rick Davis just got an awesome run there on Samuel Collins. He moves up a position there as Samuel got the exit a little bit wrong, and Rick pounced, so Rick Davis up to 9th position.
Yeah, great job, Rick, there. He'll be looking to hang on and see if he doesn't lose the draft of the guys in front. As Russell makes a little mistake, and Samuel behind Rick there made another mistake to give Rick a bit of clean air behind him. But the little mistake from Russell has also allowed Rick to gain the better part of half a second there. He looked like he almost might get dropped, and here's Rick making a nice charge through the field as they approach this another tricky corner in this last corner here, Bernie. Russell flicks the car right to left to make that there and stick it behind Mick. Yeah, it's great driving all round.
Yeah, we're watching Samuel doing the same thing through there. It was almost a Scandinavian flick, Skip Barber style there, but he gathered it up, and away they go again. But here comes Tim Gaukricher. That gap now is, 3.9 seconds.
Yeah, fantastic drive from Tim. Once he got that gap, he's building on it, and these guys behind, I think they're settling for the minor positions on the podium. There's a bit of battling going on. Timu and Enzo having a bit of a play in the preceding corners of where they are now. And now AJ, Alex John is sitting right on Timu's tail. These two are great drivers, great competitors, very clean, but they will have a crack when the offer's there. So it'll be interesting to see how they close out this race, Brendan.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to start heating up very shortly. 8 laps out of 13 completed here at Snetterton, and the guys are putting on a great show. But further back, we'll jump back while they're going on to try to find where there's a battle going on. It's probably with Rick Davis, Mick Gray and Russell Clark, as Rick Davis is also battling connection problems out there as he flickers in and out.
Yeah, well, Russell Clark now on the head of that pack there with Mick all over the back of him now as they head out the back Bentley straight once again. Mick very bravely. You think normally in these cars at the end of a straight's a great passing opportunity, but we were talking about it before, that challenging section at the end. Mick very far over to the left there. Russell conceding the corner. Be interesting to see Rick Davis now charging up. Runs a bit deep. Didn't count for Russell sort of leaving Mick room, and they all get through cleanly, but it has allowed Samuel Collins to get right on the back of Rick again, Bernie.
Yeah, I was expecting Rick there to spear off because it was an extremely close call, but all of a sudden he's now being mobbed by Samuel Collins. Darryl Ridley, never one to shy away from a fight, is also jumping in on the action.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Darryl. I seem to remember him much further up the order, but he's dropped back down to 11th now, and he's going to try and hang on to that or increase his chance of getting more points. We scored to the top 12 for the Monday Night Lights over and above the official season points, of course, and Darryl just there, followed by Ashley Work in the last of the point scoring positions. Great to see Ash there having a good run there in the points. I've had a few drives with Ash. Unfortunately, rear-ended him at a Bathurst event recently. Apologies again, Ash. We both got away okay, but you don't like having that sort of thing happen, so I'm very pleased to see him having a good run tonight.
Yeah, meanwhile up front, the top four still continue where they were. We've got Enzo Cantor leading, Timu Vascalampi, Alex John, and further up the track you can see Tim Gaukricher. That gap 3.916 is a live gap now as we see Timu just closing in on the back of Enzo's car here. He's starting to think about it, Alex.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try and have a crack there, Bernie, as they head along again out this back straight. Enzo running very wide. That'll give Timu every opportunity. It's just to see if Enzo does take a defensive line. Timu follows him. AJ trying to hang on in the draft there. Now, Enzo's going to force Timu to go around the outside. Really, like I was saying, you really need to compromise this first left-hander. They're going to go side by side. Interesting to see how they pull it up. Will Enzo be able to cut back and go in behind? Timu leaves him room. Enzo running wide. Enzo having to run into this next corner here. Timu, the better drive out though, and he's made it stick, Bernie. That's a fantastic series of corners by those two. They've made it work, and Timu's got the job done.
Yeah, he had to be very aggressive though, didn't he? Because even when he had that overlap, Enzo still had his inside left front on the rear right, I think it was, whatever, of Timu, and he just had to sort of hold it there, didn't he, to claim that.
Yeah, you're right there again, Bernie. It was a really fantastic display of driving from both guys, really showing you how it's done there. Very challenging series of corners, and to go 2 by 2 in there and make it work and get the job done. Fantastic drive and overtake from Timu there, but just as good by Enzo there to make sure there was no contact. They both gave each other a good amount of room. Timu running very wide now out of the turn 2 hairpin there, and just getting the drive done. But now it's to see if, as the rear end Timu's car, he gets that added bit of rotation. I can tell you what, he'll have a very soft anti-roll bar in that car to get the car going like that. Enzo now looking up the inside. Timu giving him the room. Be interesting to see. Yeah, Enzo gets that job. AJ poking his nose up the inside, see if he can't follow through. But no, Timu gets the drive out and maintains that third position, Bernie.
And it must be really encouraging to Alex there when he sees Timu give Enzo so much room. It's almost like, here you go, sir, you first. I thought he was going to spin it there. He started on a lazy slide, gathers it up. Once again, Timu's car's looking very loose on turning.
Yeah, he's left the anti-roll bar quite soft, I'd imagine. That's my guess, but that's given Enzo a bit of a skip-away opportunity there, and now Timu is forced to go defensively. Alex John now, car number 7 on the outside in the green Team Milo livery, putting on a great show tonight, but again, sensibly holds back. They've still got the balance of just over 3 laps remaining as they're on lap 10 now, the closing stages at least, and Alex, I imagine, having a twofold thinking process in mind, not wanting to let Enzo get away, but also knowing that he's got a good position, and throwing it away now would be far more costly than even finishing where he is.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's interesting when you watch Timu up at Nelson up there. He actually doesn't get too worried about that big gutter. I've seen him jump that a couple of times, and surprisingly, the skip Barber just sort of absorbs that huge guttering.
Yeah, well, they've got softer suspension than the other open wheel cars that you might try in the Formula Renault and the Pro Mazda. They have very stiff suspension by comparison. They won't be as soft as the tin tops and ride the curbs as well, but they're not too bad. Big curbs here will, of course, upset the car quite dramatically, but if you get the angle right, your rotation right, you can just ride them straight over as long as you're not sort of crisscrossing over them and really upsetting the car too much. It looks like Timu's got that well in hand and sort of capitalising on every inch of the track surface.
He definitely is, and we might jump on board with him as he comes through, Nelson. And knowing my luck, we'll build all this up, and he'll just sort of do a perfect corner and make
either that or he'll flip it, mate. One or the other, right?
Well, flipping would underscore what I'm talking about. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But these three again coming up through Williams now onto the Bentley straight once more. Lap 11 now, just under 2.5 laps remaining. They're all using every inch of the track. They're kicking up the dust now. Team are not close enough really to make a move on Enzo. I wouldn't have thought here, although we'll be giving Enzo plenty to think about in his mirrors. Let's see how they do that run there through that apex you were talking about, Bernie.
You can see him there just balancing the throttle, and is he? No, he's going to do it perfectly. There you go, Timu. Good job.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't the only one made a liar about it tonight. So, yeah, a bit further. Timu running very wide there. Gee, I tell you what, I don't know whether it's just the ambitious or the guys running on the ragged edge, but or whether it's just unfamiliarity with this new track. But the guys really running wide, and they've been running pretty close. Again, Alex John out of the final corner grabbing a lot of dirt there. I wonder if the guys, how raggedly close they're running to their incident limit. Of course, 17 incidents here, and you're automatically disqualified and removed from the track. So, if you guys might have an eye on their count tonight, Bernie.
Yeah, well, I'd expect Enzo's to be at least 4x after that contact with Mikko Nasi, and Mikko is out there. He limped back to the pits. He's circulating in 15th at the moment, and I reckon he'd be a bit disappointed at the moment.
Oh, massively disappointed. It'd be a big cost for him. Just judging from the estimates I'm seeing, it's about 100 I rating for him, which hurts a lot when you're at just over 6,000. It's tough to gain I rating, very easy to lose, and that's a tough night out for Mikko. But further down in the pack, I'm looking Russell Clark now. He's still having that great battle with Mick Gray for P7 and 8 respectively, and Rick Davis. He seems to have dropped off a little bit from that pack, and he's got Samuel Collins and Darryl Ridley hot on his heels, trying to make a battle of 5 of it, Bernie.
Yeah, I'd say Rick's probably keeping an eye on those mirrors there with Samuel stalking him. And meanwhile, up front, it hasn't really changed much. Tim Gaukrich is still leading here, 4.8 seconds, and you can see the other three snaking down Bentley Straight. Well, they're not snaking, they're going to make a liar of me again. But we can see Timu Vascalampi now making a move on Enzo, and he makes it stick this time, and he moves up.
Yeah, he's done very well there, young Timu there, to get that move done. Very challenging section, let alone to have one of his key passing opportunities, Birdie. That's a fantastic hit from Timu once again. Well done to Enzo too. Put a lot of pressure on there, but still avoided the contact. Well done to both parties at that stage, Bernie.
Yeah, and meanwhile, while these two are fighting over these positions, Alex is sitting back there. We haven't really seen him make a serious move, but I tell you what, he's only got one lap, I would say, to start thinking about it. And here we are, final lap board now. Let's see if Alex John's going to do anything here, if he's going to be happy just to take the points in 4th. One thing I do know is Enzo will make a move if he possibly can. Oh, look at this, Timu on the inside, Enzo on the outside. You can call it.
Yeah, they've made it work. Timu doing a great job there, positioning his car in defensive positions all around the track, negating the advantage that Enzo might have, taking more classic or cleaner lines and getting better exit speed. Timu really doing, like I said, a fantastic job of taking the defensive lines. You can see once again he's moved over to the left-hand side of the circuit for the approaching left-hander. Not the fastest way through the corners, Bernie, but certainly that makes it tough for the guy trying to make a move and go around has to go round the outside. Again, not needing to there. He had enough of a drive there to defend from Enzo without taking the inside line. Again, through here, Bernie, they're just running nose to tail. Alex John all the time looming now as they head back through turn 7 now at Williams onto this straight. It'll be interesting to see how they come up and what happens at the end of this straight through that really tough Brundle-Nelson complex.
Yeah, up Bentley Straight now. We can see Enzo getting the draft. He steps out, and we'll see what's going to happen as they come through side by side. Vascalampi, Enzo Cantor. Enzo taking through Brundle into Nelson. Takes that position, but can he hold it as Timu throws it in there and gets it in a slide? That's allowed Alex John now to think about making a move. And I'll tell you what, it's all to play for between these three.
Gee, that was a great pass. I have to say that's probably the cleanest pass I've seen in terms of car control through that really challenging section of the circuit, Bernie. Hats off to Enzo there and to Timu for leaving room. He closes up again. Oh, the wrist stepped out as they go through the final corner there, Bernie, opening the door for Alex John there. He's trailing right up behind, using every bit of the draft. Enzo there grabbing P2 behind the Tim Gorkrotcher there. P3 going to Timu with a hard charging Alex John in 4th.
Yeah, and we missed that because I was showing Tim Gorkrotcher crossing the line there. We can see now Kevin Henderson crossing in 5th position, jumping back to Russell Clark now. He's the number 6, and he's got Rick Davis on the outside of him, and it looks like Rick may have taken it.
Fantastic drive from Rick there, Bertie. I'm just going to jump back and see where he made that position. I'm still looking for it there. I can see he's pretty much in front for the entire of the final lap, actually. He made the move stick. Oh, gee, you'd have to go back almost an entire lap, Bertie, but he's made the move stick. A little bit of phantom contact there. There was a good width between half a tyre or a full tyre width between them, but what a fantastic result for Rick Davis there. He then defended all the way after making that move on Russell Clark to snag a fantastic P8. That I have no doubt it's probably his best result in the top split, and congratulations to him.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive, and I tell you what, Russell wasn't going to make him win that position easily. He got a great run there out of Murray's and ranged right up on the side of him. It was only by probably a tenth of a nose, I guess you could say, that Rick held on to that 8th position.
Yeah, look, they've both driven really well. Oh, gee, it was real tight on the line, wasn't it? Rick looking to get not the same kind of run. He did pretty well on corner entry, missed his apex a little bit. Russell just carried the better speed and used the draft to full effect there and just missed out by about half a car length, didn't he? Great drive from both of them.
Yeah, it certainly was, and let's go through the full positions here, folks, so you can see where your favourite driver finished. And if you liked our video tonight, folks, give it the thumbs up. If we didn't quite suit your liking, let us know what we can do to improve, and we'll always listen to constructive criticism, that's for sure. But anyway, let's get back to the results here, and we'll see where your favourite driver finished tonight. So Tim Gorkrotcher takes the win. He led from start to finish tonight, and it was quite a substantial lead in the end. 4.7 seconds was the gap. Enzo Cantor, he comes home in 2nd. 3rd was Timu Vascalampi. Alex John, great drive by him to come home in 4th. Kevin Henderson up 3 positions to come home in 5th. Matt Hobbs also up 3 positions. He came home in 6th, and followed by Mick Gray, also up 3 positions. One of the movers, Rick Davis, up 7 positions tonight and coming home in 8th. Fantastic drive by Rick. Russell Clark finishes in 9th. Darryl Ridley 10th. 11th, Samuel Collins and Ashley Work. That rounds out your top 12. Looking at 13th, we've got Dave Cameron from UK and Ireland, also up 7 positions tonight to finish 13th. Francois Dorikins from Benelux comes home in 14th. James Beardsley from Texas, he comes home in 15th. Then we've got Les Peck finishing in 16th. John Schultz dropping 11 positions to finish in 17th. Brian Inglis 18th. Mikko Nasi dropping 15 positions after that contact and coming home in 19th position. And 20th, well it says 19th here, is Jason Willman. He finished in 20th to round out our field.
Yeah, look, I'd have to say driver of the night for me goes to Rick Davis. I reckon he'd have a grin from ear to ear. He had a tough outing last week. I know he was in the top split last week as well, and he had a tough outing. But tonight, what a drive. Up 7 positions in the top split to be the biggest mover in the field. P9, good bag of points there for him. P8, I beg your pardon. A great bag of points there for him to continue his charge against the season overall in the Monday Lights. Shame for Miko. Nassi, who's come out for the second week in a row to join us here, he ended up dropping even more I rating, Bernie. He's down in P19, as he said, and he's lost 146 hard-earned I rating. That's going to hurt a lot. Thanks once again to Miko to coming out and supporting the series. We do appreciate it. But Tim Gorcrotcher, what a result for him. I've said it over the past few weeks. He's found another leg in these cars, and he's driving fantastically well. Give him half a sniff and he's away. And what a gap he pulled in there. Just the better part of 5 seconds to run away with it and grab himself a great lot of official Monday Night Lights championship points as well as I rating as well. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing Tim has proved tonight, not only is he very handy behind a Skip Barber wheel, he's also a C-class driver, and he's beat out a lot of the A-classes. So he's showing that it doesn't matter about what class licence you've got, it's all about the talent, and he's definitely shown that tonight.
Yeah, well, there's the two measures, of course. You got the license class, which is a measure of your safety, and in that regard, but the I rating is perhaps something that not only gets you into a field like this, but is a really strong determination of skill or indicator of skill. Of course, I mean, if you win races time after time, but you only race in a category like this, you won't get those higher classes of license, and some guys are just happy to do that. But sitting after tonight's event, Tim Gorkosh is sitting on a 4,650 odd I rating. That's a really massive jump from where he was a couple of seasons ago, and is perhaps the best measure is that jump of how much he's improved and how competitive he's now become, Bernie.
Yeah, I'd say the I rating's actually far more important than the licence level for sure. Tim Gowcridge is 4,594, so that's probably about almost 3 times my I rating.
Look, I cracked 4K for a little while, and I was very, very chuffed with myself, but I've never reached the lofty heights of where Tim is. And the likes of Enzo, of course, he's been a long-term participant here in our series, a regular visitor and a winner here. He's managed to grab onto P2 tonight, and he's another one over 5,000, as is Timo Vascalampi after his effort tonight. He's in the 5K club as well. So only all of them outposted by Miko, who's still at 6K, which is lofty heights indeed. But those guys are really showing once again what strong, consistent racing can do for you.
Yeah, now I'm going to put this out to the viewers here. Guess who we're going to interview next? Buongiorno.
We should bring him up, hey? I'll bring him up, and I can see Alex John there in the green room as well. We'll bring him up next, but I'll just let him know that he's muted his mic and headphones just so he can get ready to come and talk to us when he's ready. Yeah. I'll bring Enzo up. Did you want to talk to me, or you want me to have a crack?
Oh, he doesn't understand me.
All right, I
speak too fast.
No problems. G'day, Enzo. Alex McKellar here, mate, in the RRTV commentary booth. Welcome back. What a race. You and Timu put on a great show there. Very impressed with some of the driving through that challenging left-right combination of turn 8 and turn 9. A couple of really great passing moves there. Enzo, how did you find it out there on track tonight?
Yeah, hi guys. It was I'm talking with Miko because I'm telling him I'm sorry for that contact, and he says to me that it's risky to drive in front of me, but he took the risk, and then we collide each other. But I don't know if I think it was my fault but I didn't expect he could recover the car so easily, and I expected him would go on the outside, but he tried to recover in the inside, and while I trying to crisscross, we touched each other. So I think it's my fault 80%. So I'm very sorry, and I was apologizing to Miko. But yeah, it was. This it was the first time I race in this track this week. I had time yesterday morning to practice for the first time, and team had a very fast pace here. I don't know. Perhaps he knows the track well, but yeah, I did have not the pace in the first laps. I was trying to keep the draft. I did some mistakes and I lost it. So I tried my pace almost in the end of the race, but it was too late, and it was a great battle with Temu, and I was not sure to arrive in the second place.
Yeah, look, I was, we obviously saw the incident with you and Miko early. It really underlined for me, or underscored, the challenging nature of that series of corners there. You've got the long Bentley straight, which in these type of cars is where you would look to have your best overtaking opportunity, but then it follows by that left-right-hand combination, which is so challenging, and it brought Miko unstuck. And I had a look at the server chat there between you two, and he said, just a mistiming thing. Very natural for you to want to go back underneath him there through the following right-hand corner. So just a racing incident, but I would say, great effort by you and Temu to make a couple of those moves stick through there. Really impressed with that. How did you find the race with Temu that followed?
The last words I lost. So
yeah, sorry, mate. I just said, how did you find the racing with Temu in the closing stages there? It looked very exciting.
Yes, it was very exciting. He was perhaps a bit slower than me in the pace, but in this track, the draft can allow you to keep a better pace if you are almost the same pace. So with the difference with 0.3, you can keep the draft. So, but I was not sure at all to beat him, because he was in some corners he was very near to me, and I was not confident as 100% in this track. So a mistake it was possible in every corner, and I have to keep focusing all the time. And in the last lap, I was not sure at all to pass him, because that corner is a very trick corner, and I did a bad mistake in the first lap, so I could do it again. And well, congrats to team again, to Temu, because it was very clean, because sometimes he arrived very faster than me entering the corner, but he didn't touch me from behind, and so for this reason I have a big respect for him. And returning on the contact between Miko, so definitely, what you think about it? Was racing on, I don't know, I think he did a big mistake, but perhaps it was 17% of my fault. I don't know. I'm trying to understand what could I do to avoid this kind of contact, because obviously it was not my goal to go over him.
Yeah, look, it's a tough one there. Miko obviously made a mess of the corner before. Only need to be a little bit offline there, but look, it's a tough one. Maybe, backing off a bit was about all you could do there to allow him to make his mistake and then capitalise it on afterwards. Very, very challenging part of the circuit, mate. But I thought in the later stages, yourself and Timu gave each other fantastic racing room and put on an amazing show for us, mate. So thank you once again for joining us here tonight, and congratulations on another fantastic result. Before we let you go, though, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yes, thank you. I have to say thanks to my team Mivano Racing, my teammate Fabio Mantellini, Maria Concetta for logistics, and as always my sponsors Mivano, Transmaster, TRL, Cube, and all my friends. Thank you again for the interview and the broadcast.
No worries, Enzo, mate. Well, hopefully we'll see you back again next week.
I hope so.
Thanks, mate. Good night.
Good night to you.
I understood everything you guys were talking about.
I bet, mate. Did you want to have a chat with Alex John if I bring him up?
Yeah, I'll have a chat with Alex. Not a problem.
No worries.
Hi, Alex. Welcome to RRTV Combox, mate. Awesome drive there, coming home in fourth position. You had, of course, Enzo and Timu fighting at it, and I was wondering if you're actually going to have a crack at them, but it looked like you weren't quite sure about it at the end of that race.
Yeah, knowing the two that were ahead of me, I was sort of just trying to play the waiting game and see what was going to happen, because it was getting a bit close and dicey at a few points, and obviously Nico went off as well at a point, so just hanging back and seeing if I could get a good run.
Yeah, we saw you did seem to get a pretty good run on that last time through Murray's there and have a move. But before that, though, with those two fighting at it, I could understand why you were hanging back, because they were getting pretty close to each other, weren't they?
Yeah, and that was the thing. I was really struggling through Williams, so my speed onto the Bentley Straight was no good. But I think I was actually quicker through Brundle and Nelson. But obviously you can't pass there once you're already behind. But yeah, I was just hoping that they'd sort of get into a little incident there and I could just hang back and then get a good drive out of Nelson and maybe make a move in the bomb hole. But yeah, that was a plan, but didn't come off in the end.
Yeah, and earlier in the race, it looked like they might have been able to drop you there. They've got a bit of a gap, but you managed to pull that back in again, and then you're with them for the whole race. So fantastic driving there, and it was great to see Team Milo up there fighting for a podium position.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I felt like I've had pretty good pace here all this week. So yeah, it was a good result tonight, and it was a good result last night as well.
Yeah, it certainly was. And were you in VR like you normally are tonight?
Yeah, always. I couldn't race in anything else.
Okay. So that must have been pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I could read Timu's warning message on the back of his car, and remembering that from 2 weeks ago, so I didn't want to take him out again.
Okay, he's got a warning message, has he?
Yeah, a bit of fun between him and a couple of other guys.
Okay. I'm going to hand you over to the other Alex here, and that's Mr. McKellar, and I think you guys know each other. Is that right, Alex?
That's right. Hey, AJ, well done tonight, mate. Great result in P4, leading Team Milo car once again. Yeah, look, the tactic nearly paid off. I just had another look at your run through the final corner with Timu really letting the rear go and not getting the drive out. Was it a close run thing? Do you think you had him there?
Oh, I chose to go down to first, and I'd been going second the whole time. Like I went first thinking I'd maybe get better drive, but I think probably that actually hurt me in the end. But yeah, it was close to a touch on the start-finish line as well. So it was good fun.
Yeah. Now I can't remember. Did you have incident between Enzo and Miko unfold in front of you, mate? I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but just generally overtaking through Brundle and Nelson there. I mean, it's the end of the longest straight. It's your best opportunity, but then you got a pair of corners that'll bring the best unstuck, as we saw tonight. What are your thoughts on overtaking through there?
Well, it's probably the best place, actually. Last night I sort of got Christian into a mistake there, and so you sort of got to play it careful but aggressively careful at the same time. And you just basically got to have two drivers that are going to trust each other to get through there.
Yeah, we certainly saw that between Enzo and Timu tonight. They gave each other good racing room. It would have been you would have had the box seat, mate. Did it look good from where you were?
Yeah, it was excellent. I was just hoping that they were going to do a little bit more aggressive than that. But anyway.
Yeah, perhaps good, but too good for your liking, eh? But listen, mate, while you're here, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
No, just thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast and good racing with Timu and Enzo, and hopefully I can get up there next time.
Yeah, awesome work, mate. Well, congratulations again on P4. Good lot of points for you tonight. Bit of I rating as well. So congratulations, mate, and hopefully we'll see you back again next week.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Fantastic, and one person we should give a shout out to is Rick Davis's mother was watching tonight, and I tell you what, your son did you all proud tonight. He got drive of the night, so well done to Rick Davis, coming home in 8th position.
Yeah, fantastic drive from Rick. I'm really pleased for him. And like I said, he had a tough outing last week, so to come back and have a drive like he did tonight, covered in sweat in his own words, and to do that in front of the family, mate, what more could you ask for?
Oh, exactly right. So awesome drive there. It was actually really good to see a lot of the Aussies getting a run here tonight. And normally we get some of the really big names in and they struggle to get in here. But I'll tell you what, they do prove one thing, in which we knew all along, and that is they drive just as hard and just as well as the big guns do.
Yeah, absolutely, Bernie. I mean, the top 12 there tonight, the front page of results, 10 of them are from the Australian-New Zealand club, you know. Local guys getting a shot at the big time and showing us what they can do. You know, fantastic racing from the local club, and that's primarily what it's all about for us here at Monday Night Lights, getting a stage and a platform for the local guys to have a real tilt at the overall championship and the Monday Night Lights itself, of course. The only person I can think of that missed out tonight was Luke Whitten, series regular. He wasn't here, but other than that, you know, great display by the local guys. Congratulations to the podium, and thanks to the drivers for not only turning out but putting on a great show once again.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Tim Gorkricher, also dominant performance here tonight, and leading from start to finish. The gap was around about 4.8 seconds at the end there. Didn't get a lot of airtime, but that's what happens when you take off into the blue yonder.
Yeah, well, that's right. Big weekend and a big week of racing here for Tim. You know, the Australasian Super Skips last night, the Monday Night Lights tonight. It's going to be a hard one for him to top, but hopefully we'll see him continue in his purple patch next week.
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, folks, the week ahead on RRTV is action-packed as always. Wednesday night, we've got the Wankel Australia-New Zealand Championship coming your way from 8:15pm GMT plus 11. Then Thursday night, join us for the Thursday Night Thunder Trucks. And I tell you what, they had 39 drivers there last week. It was at Phoenix. They struggled, it must be said. Lots of yellows. But hopefully it was still entertaining racing. Then, of course, Friday night, the Australian Online Supercar Championship comes back, and it's the Phillip Island 650 this Friday night. So if you like your V8 Enduro action to see out the work week, come and join us this Friday.
Yeah, great combo there with the V8s at Phillip Island. I had my first taste of V8s driving around that track, and it was a great introduction, I have to say. So that should be plenty of action there. I'm looking forward to donning the helmet and having a drive in the Pro Mazdas again this week on the Wednesday night broadcast race. Bernie, great series there, great bunch of drivers and a lot of fun. So plenty of action this week for you and me.
Yeah, definitely. So we can see Alex doing, you'll be streaming Wednesday night, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. If I can get on track, the cameras will be on me on RRTV and on the Top Split TV on Twitch, Bernie. So looking forward to that. And if I can manage another race around Bathurst on Saturday and the Friday, ironically named Friday Night Race Club for the Saturday night Bathurst 200. Geez, I tell you what, they put on a good show there. And it's a great deal of fun. So looking forward to streaming that again on Saturday.
Fantastic. Well, folks, that pretty much sums up our coverage tonight of the Skip Barber Monday Lights from Snetterton. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage tonight. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, let us know what we need to do to improve your experience of viewing our coverage. But until then, folks, have a great work week, if there is such a thing. I'm sure someone likes their work. You like your work, don't you, Alex?
Next question.
Yeah, as we were saying, have a great work week, folks. We look forward to your company soon. But if we don't see you soon, stay safe. And until then, you've been watching RRTV. On behalf of Bernie Williams, I'm Alex McCullough. I'll see you all later.